First time we see Elder Blue is back relatively close to when he had first become an elder. He owned a small village where he lived peacefully with a handful of other Blue Steves under his guidance. During this period, his small village was attacked by Soulless Steve and Quorum Steve after coming out of some sort of red demon portal. They brought with them demon Steves that seemed to be covered in darkness, and somehow the demons spread said darkness to Elder Blue's Blue Steves. But upon Soulless trying to actually infect Elder Blue himself, it seemed to initially have no effect. So Quorum Steve dealt with him in a more traditional manner. After regaining consciousness in the water, Elder Blue dragged himself back on the land, now having darkness scars all across his body. Despite it being live darkness, it didn't seem to have any effect on his mind or desires. No other options, Elder Blue ran and ran for a long time, away from his now destroyed village. He wasn't sure where Soulless and Quorum had come from, or anything about how the demons had fused with darkness. All he knew is that he had to get enough distance between him and them. At the time, Elder Blue saw himself as no longer being worthy of a leader, despite his elder title. He gave up on believing that he could again lead the Blue Steves, entrusting that to the several other powerful Blue Steves across the land. The next time Elder Blue was seen was right after Balance managed to escape the facility. He came across a small village of random chromatic Steves, and lo and behold, their leader was Elder Blue, still covered in the darkness scars, but still having no effects to his personality, desires, or wants. After a short talk with Elder Blue, Balance began to understand more about the world, or more of universe he was now residing in, seeing that there seemed to be Steves that resembled Steve Saga and Steves that resembled Rainbow Quest. Unsure of how this was possible, this problem has still not been solved to this day. It was now revealed that Elder Blue actually had possession of a blue artifact. While it was more than likely not the one Balance had once known from his past, it was indeed a blue artifact, seemingly coming from another universe similar to Steve Saga. We see Elder Blue again after Balance and Dark Unknown Steve return from discovering the Dark Crystal. One of Empty's rogue creations, who would eventually become Equality, had come and accidentally destroyed the entirety of Elder Blue's small village. Knowing that Balance needed to be able to take down Empty and to ensure that there were no more creations coming to attack him or any other Steves, Elder Blue entrusted the blue artifact to Balance, to which Balance would soon absorb to gain his blue power-up that is mostly shown throughout the series. After discovering Empty's facility destroyed, as well as creating Unbalance, and finally helping the unstable Blank Steve become Equality, both Balance, Unbalance, and Equality returned to Elder Blue's destroyed village, offering aid in the rebuilding process. Despite them not being there very long due to having other issues to go resolve, they did end up helping for a short few days. Sometime later, Balance brought around the newly created Time Balance to check on how the new Elder Blue village was going. The houses seemed larger, made out of better materials. There also seemed to be a much larger abundance of wildlife. Some of the Steves that had originally lived with Elder Blue that had not been accidentally killed due to Blank Steve were also here, such as Pink Steve. Upon meeting with Elder Blue, they discovered that he had changed his wardrobe, much like the rest of the elders that would later be shown. After a short talk, Balance took time back to their own village, however. Not even a day later, the Balancers were forced to flee their own village, being unable to fight back against the normal chromatic Steves that had been enraged towards them, thanks to the actions of Second Balance. While half the group went to Nether's secure lab, the other half went to stay with Elder Blue, hoping that he would refuge them, while the other chromatics seemed to have a strong level of now distrust. Elder Blue agreed, just telling them that they needed to stay hidden. While staying there, just as Indigo discovered Elder Blue had been harboring the Balancers, Second appeared, taking him away in a burst of lightning, in front of both Balance and Elder Indigo. With the Balancers and Elder Indigo working together, they were able to not only save Elder Blue from Second, but Second even joined in the fray, as they then had to fight off Entity Theory 3 and Null. Them helping save Elder Blue changed Elder Indigo's perspective of the Balancers, creating a more friendly alliance between the three. We next see Elder Blue when Balance is traveling with Ghost Steve, Shadow Saber, and Valley. This is after the initial attack of Brine. Once Brine was revived and began to take his conquest of the overworld, Balance was put back into the normal world thank you to the creators, where he ran into the three elders, Elder Blue, Elder Indigo, and Elder Green, who had now created a stronger village with the three of them as the leaders. After an unfortunate event involving psychotic deaths and Balance switching bodies, as well as a dead Navy Steve and a battered Elder's home, people no longer had trust in him, them believing that it was Balance who had killed the Navy Steve and not Psychotic. Balance understood and told them that he'd return once things had hopefully calmed down, and after they had defeated Psychotic. Balance kept his word, defeating Psychotic and eventually returning to the kingdom, where he found that now all 7 base chromatic Steves all had their elders in one place, them being red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. The 7 of them had congregated people such as the chromatics, the ore Steves, the ore leaders, dimensional leaders, as well as many more to come talk to Balance about what had really happened between him and Psychotic, the people realizing that they had misjudged and misunderstood the situation. A few months after, Balance returns to the Elder's Kingdom, this time with Diamond coming from Bedrock Rising, and the Copper King, with Voided One trying to turn the overworld back into the Void. Balance believed that one of the best solutions would be the Ore Steves to form an alliance with the Chromatics, and he couldn't think of any better way than introducing the King of the Ore Steves to the Elders. The last major role in the series that Elder Blue has played was when he and Elder Indigo fought with Solus and Corum, Elder Blue's long-term enemies. Together, they had managed to push the 2 Demon Darkness Steves to the ground, hovering above them as they spoke of the plans of Under. Despite Solus and Corum still being cocky, believing that once they returned to the world below, they'd come back just like any other time, Elder Blue and Elder Indigo destroyed them both. Elder Blue finally getting his revenge for what they had done to his people long ago. Elder Blue will indeed be returning in the future of this series.